Believe it or not, this truck was bought brand new October 2003. So it's about to turn 20 years old. And it's a one owner. I am the one and only who's owned it. During those 20 years, it has only suffered 2 injuries. Right there, I was backing a trailer and didn't see it jackknife, and it just barely caught that plastic, but enough to do some damage. And then right there, I ignored the beep 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 of the backup alarm, and I hit a little pole that I didn't see. But other than that, she's immaculate. This is the original factory paint. You'll be hard pressed to find a blemish on it anywhere. I haven't color sanded it or buffed it or done anything like that. It's just basically been kept out of the sun and waxed regularly. There's a few little minor rock chips and so forth on it, which is to be expected for 20 years. Did replace the headlights because they did eventually get hazy. You can kind of see the fog lights are getting the way the headlights were. I did have to paint this because it was, I think it was gold, and it was starting to come off and look really bad. This plastic trim I've taken care of using various tire shine products over the years until I discovered 303, and then more recently I discovered that they have a ceramic that you can put on the plastic, and that seems to be the best for your keeping up your plastic, not just on an Avalanche but on basically any kind of plastic trim. Obviously I've gone through a few sets of tires during that time. And if you saw a prior video, I had to replace this because the sun opened it, dropped it right on the trailer, and it just shattered it. But recently it has broken again. I don't know what is actually broken in here, if it's plastic disconnected or what. I'm going to have to get in there and see why it's not engaging. That yellow thing you see, I believe, is what pops open the tailgate, but right now can't open it. These are in pretty good shape considering their age, and as much as 260 pounds of me climbing over them to wax the roof and so forth. And you can see the back seat is basically like new. Again, just really taking care of the leather, putting the leather care products on it, or 303. And it survived 2 car seats. You can see there's a little bit of stretch here from the one. Basically, when you put a car seat in, if you do it properly, you put your knee in it and really press it down and then torque it down so it doesn't budge. And so that's the unfortunate side effect. And then this just really pissed me off. This used to be around there, so the seat belt was held in there. And then I guess they did a recall, and they did not ask me if I wanted it done. They didn't ask me if anybody ever sits in this seat or anything. I had it in probably for an oil change or something, and they said, "Oh, we did the recall for you." And I'm like, "What recall?" Well, they basically cut this and then sew it, so it looks like absolute crap, and I don't see how that makes anything safer. It's just an eyesore. So that really pissed me off. passenger front seat again, basically like new. Just really tried to take good care of the leather. This little chip there, my son's size 13 feet. He just, every time he would get out, he would just clip it just right and break it off. I'd glue it back on. Next time he'd get out, boom, break it off. So, kind of hard to be too mad when boy's got a 13 foot trying to squeeze out of here. Still has the original Bose speakers. They still sound great. All this stuff amazingly still works. I just recently put this pad in because there's a crack under there, but other than that, the dash is all in really good shape. You know, considering that these General Motors dashes all tend to just fall apart. The driver's seat obviously has some wear from me. I have never weighed less than 210 pounds since I've owned this vehicle, so it's gotten a lot of wear, me getting in and out, particularly here and of course on here. But for a 20-year-old leather seat, I think it still looks pretty good. Same thing with the steering wheel. That's the original leather on it. As you saw earlier, there's no check engine lights or anything. So this component was replaced under warranty probably 3 or 4 times. Knock on wood, once the warranty ended, it's been fine. I did opt for an aftermarket stereo because, you know, it was kind of outdated to have a CD changer. Although when the truck was new, that CD changer was, you know, top of the line stuff. Then I went ahead and added those switches for my big light in the front, my camera override, and then there's one other for later expansion. Right now it's not used, and then obviously it's got the voltmeter, and then I added the TPMS system that tells you the actual pressure of each tire instead of just having a low tire light. Of course, being a farm truck, that's really hard to keep clean. I could literally vacuum and shampoo this, and then the next day it'll look the same. So I don't worry about it too much. At least I try not to. These have kind of been acting up. Like, it seems like it remembers and then it forgets. And same with these. Sometimes they'll kick on. I may have gotten some protectant behind there or something. I haven't pulled them off. And then these, you saw a prior video, I pulled those off and cleaned them because they were not always working. Like, now they do work. So, problems I've had. It got a new transmission at about 30,000 miles, again under warranty. And I've had something done, again, all under warranty on the AC system, whether it was bad compressor or leaks or whatever. I don't know what they fixed. I don't remember, but there was a couple times I was in for that. And like I said, that and then one transmission. Other than that, it's been rock solid. Vortec 5.3 liter V8, rock solid performer. Its weak point, I would say, is being mated to the 4-speed transmission with the 373 rear end. It would probably do a whole lot better with a 6 or more speed transmission and a different rear gear to kind of compensate. So, you know, if you did a 6-speed transmission with a lower first gear, you could put a lower number rear end and get better gas mileage at highway speeds. I had to replace the booster, and I went ahead and did the master cylinder when I did that. So everything under here is the original factory stuff, except I replaced the mass air sensor one time, the evap thing under there one time, the brake booster and master cylinder one time, and of course the battery's been replaced several times because, let's face it, Texas heat destroys batteries. And then not only do we get the constant heat, but every once in a while we'll get freezing cold, and I think that mix just destroys these. So you see this one is 2017, so it's on its 6th year and it's still working. How's the factory sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to call it, all still works. Major defect is the liners coming down. I know I can spray some adhesive up under there and try to stick it down, but it hasn't gotten to the point where I felt like I just had to do that. The most amazing thing is it's got 64,909 miles. That could be a couple miles off, maybe, you know, 1 to 10 miles off, just because the system wasn't working for a while and I had to send off the cluster to be fixed, but I didn't drive it while it was out. So but like I said, since there was a time where it wasn't operational fully, I don't know exactly if I put, you know, a couple miles on it. But the truck hasn't been driven much in recent years, so it's not like I've put a lot of miles on it anyway. On the roof is like a brand new vehicle. Again, just really waxing it periodically and trying to keep it out of the sun. It spent a lot of time garaged or in covered parking. That certainly helps. But, you know, 20-year-old paint job from a factory that's really good, isn't it? So yes, it is possible to have a General Motors vehicle last 20 years and look this newish. Just gotta take really good care of it, keep it out of the sun as much as possible. It's due for this, obviously. But there she is, 2004 Avalanche Z71 4x4.